Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Of course, featuring AlphaStar. AlphaStar, of course, continuing on the massacre of humans, it seems, as the AI just keeps kicking on butt. But as on the channel every other day is AlphaStar Day, we're going to check out a couple more replays. In the top left-hand side of the map, we have got AlphaStar, Alpha Terran, and in the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have got Masters T, the Masters Terran player, going to be trying to show us that humanity can fight back against the robot insurgency. And yes, I know AlphaStar is an AI, but we'll just see. We'll see how it's going to go between these two. Double gas from the Masters player. AlphaStar also going to be going for a double gas play, which is interesting to see when you think of AlphaStar. It tends to not actually go for those double gas plays too often. In TVT it does, but like when it plays Protoss, it tends to go for Gateway Expands. When it plays Zerg, I mean, doesn't really apply to Zerg. But yeah, AlphaStar tends to go very economic, but it does realize that it needs double gas in TVT just because of the way the matchup is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, seeing as how we have got 4 gas geysers on the map, before this match gets a rolling, can we try and hit 4 likes on this video? Make sure to hit that like button. And if you are new to the channel, you've been watching these AlphaStar videos for a while, go ahead and subscribe. A great way to show your support for the channel. And now if we do take a look, we see everything is mirrored. We are staring into a mirror here. Looks like the orbital a little bit later for the Masters player. AlphaStar is already done. A little bit of difference here and there. Mainly just that AlphaStar pulls out of the gas earlier than human players tend to do. We take a look. Yeah, pretty much everything's the exact same. It's a Groundhog Day. Although I guess if it was Groundhog Day, it would be the same as the last game, which it definitely wasn't. Last game wasn't a TVT. Now, we do see an expansion going up for the Masters player, which is good to see. Same for AlphaStar. So we really are looking at a very, very mirrored build. Usually things would have diversified a little bit, like one player chooses to go for a reactor for their Hellions. The answer to that is just nope. Just gonna keep building one Reaper, one Hellion at a time is what these players have decided, and then we'll just see where the game's gonna diversify from there. It is interesting, no starports yet from either player, but there they are popping on up. Okay, so very, very macro-oriented game. Both these players are sitting back, gonna be holding up at the top of the ramp, which is a good decision, I think. Seeing as how neither of them SCV scouted, in TVT, you never know what your opponent's got waiting. For all you know, your opponent went just for a Reaper expand. They're just going to be already have their command center done. They're not going to have a lot to defend early on. And it would be great to poke with your Reapers and Hellions. At the same time, though, for all you know, your opponent, just with Defender's advantage, has got more Reapers and Hellions sitting on their side of the map, like is exactly going to happen to this Masters player. He's going to poke in, and he's going to have to nope on out, but he does not react quick enough, and as a matter of fact is going to take huge losses early on. That is a disastrous move. That can be game-ending damage, losing 2 Hellions and a Reaper. And now if we take a look at the unit count, it's just 2 Reapers for the Masters player against the 3-3 for AlphaStar. Fortunately, the Masters player does have that Cyclone finished up, so that'll help out, but it's still not a comfortable position at all for the Masters player. Cyclone locks onto one of the Hellions, will kill it off. Marines and Reapers are going to help repel this, but still, something that probably shouldn't have happened for the Masters player. I myself am very guilty of doing this in my TVTs. I'll be like, oh, I got my Hellions and my Reapers. Herp. I'm going to move them across the map. And then they all die, and I'm just saying, why did I do that? And I can't answer that question. So we take a look. We've got a siege tank on the way for the Masters player. Both these players are still alive. Of course, alive and kicking. We have got a 3rd base going up for AlphaStar. Going to be getting that. And then just both players making some Ravens. Each gonna have a Cyclone or two. And yeah, everything looks pretty standard. AlphaStar with a slight lead, AlphaStar with a quicker third base is also notable. We see the Masters player is going to throw up at least his second and third barracks before his third base, so that's quite notable. Going to be going for a more two-base oriented play compared to the three-base play of AlphaStar, which it's always cool to see how this will play out. In the grand scheme of things in TVT, choices like this don't tend to matter. TVT, the game naturally goes later for the most part, like regardless of, say, whether one player goes for a quicker expansion right at the start. Things just seem to have a knack of evening on out for the most part usually. AlphaStar is kind of going ahead though, just with its consistent macro, but as far as like actual human versus human TVT, it tends to even out to a scary degree for the most part, despite what goes on in the early game. We see a bit of auto turret harassment from AlphaStar, forces an SCV pull off that mineral line. Third base is now going up for the Masters player, which is cool to see. However, the third base for AlphaStar is already going to be landing, which is definitely not comfortable for the Masters player. Seeing how if we take a look, he hasn't started his STIM or anything yet. That's really going to help him out. He's taking auto turret harassment still. He's down 12 workers. Cyclone locked onto the Raven of AlphaStar, but that Cyclone could potentially go down. Does stay alive, which is good. However, still not a great spot at all. There's the Raven of AlphaStar being chased by the Ravens of the Masters player. Cyclone will finish it off. However, the macro really has been disrupted for the Masters player, who, by the way, yeah, throwing up his reactors now, but still hasn't started his STIM despite having the earlier barracks. He's just at a deficit. He's been messed with by AlphaStar, so things are not looking too promising for the human. Not a good day for humanity, it's looking to be so far. All right. Taking a look. Siege tank on the high ground, shooting those Reapers and Hellions. But it does kind of just go to show that AlphaStar's still got its Reapers and Hellions alive. Taking care of those units. I like this harassment from the Masters player. Tossing down auto turrets, however, might be a little bit too late. He's throwing down like 4 auto turrets to go for the STIM pack snipe, which is a pretty cool move, however, a very costly one, as it's going to cost him all 3 of his Ravens. He's not going to have those in his arsenal anymore. And while that was a great move, sniping STIM, I feel, it's going to give him the STIM pack timing advantage. I'm still quite worried for the Masters player. Yeah, that's quite a painful loss. Now, we'll see if AlphaStar is actually going to restart up its STIM pack. Like, does the AI be like, oh yeah, I kind of need to get STIM again? How much is it going to prioritize that? It lifts up its barracks, interestingly enough, and then lands it to rebuild the tech lab. Just like, oh, yep, got to build that from the sky. Now, we see the Masters players moving out on the map. There's a 10 army supply difference. Looks like the Masters player might actually just fully bypass AlphaStar's army, which is kind of interesting to see. It's a very, very bold move out from the Masters player, but if he can get his tank set up in a good spot, he'll be looking good. However, if we take a look, he doesn't have STIM pack yet. His tanks get jumped on by the SCVs. A good surround from AlphaStar, gonna be shutting down this army, and GG gets called as the Masters player knows he overcommitted and he was just getting outplayed by the AI. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second match. Sometimes I get confused whether what game I'm casting, but here we are into match number 2. It is Cyber Forest. Of course, Cyber Forest, map that has been out of the map pool a little while, since the AlphaStar games were played on that different set of maps. However, still cool to see AlphaStar potentially going to be kicking some butt, as always. Now, it's going to be a Diamond player, Diamond Terran, so another Terran going to be swinging at AlphaStar. This time it's Alpha P, though. And, yeah, I just want to see something dirty, something creative from the Diamond player, because we all know that just macroing against AlphaStar doesn't really work. The AI is just too good at what it does. It's just gonna sit back, build up tanks, all that. Well, not tanks in this case, but sit back, build up an army, wait for a chance to kill you. and then, yeah, just do that while you're just generally falling behind on macro because of the harassment, because you don't have machine-like macro like the AI. And that's what really wins most of the games. Taking a look here, we do end up seeing it's just going to be the Gateway expand for AlphaStar. Going to just be likely a Reaper expand for the Diamond players, doing the most classic Terran build. But hold the phone. Hold the phone. We see ourselves a reactor. The Diamond player says, you know what? Reapers, we don't need them. Or at least I want to be able to build 2 of them. So an interesting build choice from the Diamond player to go right into that. I mean, if you're not one to want to control a Reaper, I don't mind this choice. That probe's being a mighty big pain. The SCV does stay alive. The command center does get delayed, though. AlphaStar hasn't spotted the fact that it was a reactor, so as far as the probe's concerned, it's probably thinking that it's like, oh, it's going to be a Reaper or a Marine popping out soon. But, oh, look at this. A nice big 3 racks play from the Diamond player. Going to be bringing the heat to AlphaStar very early on. Now, in comes this probe. Gonna be harassing at the natural again, and we do take a look. There's gonna be a nasty supply block heading for the Diamond player. Like all Diamond players, supply blocks is this guy's nemesis. He's sitting on 23 supply. He hasn't noticed he's gonna be supply blocked, and there it is. I was like, uh-oh, I forgot to build the depot. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. That probe also delays the natural base command center some more, which is not a good thing. There's an Adept moving across the map, which can potentially execute this SCV. The Diamond player, he chose the injured SCV. He sent the crippled SCV, and then he just gets killed just like it's nothing. The supply block for the Diamond player meant he wasn't building any more Marines, so this Adept is going to dispatch all of those, and the natural base command center is just quarter past not happening. 3 SCVs are going to get sent down to try and build this, but they're just going to run into the jaws of the Adept. The Marine's going to do what it can, but the Marine is not enough. So this Adept already just killing. The Adept is just, oh, so much killing. And the Adept shades on out like a boss. Now we take a look, there's an Oracle on the way. For AlphaStar, the AI is building up that probe count. I mean, I don't mind the 3 racks play against AlphaStar. But yeah, if we take a look, there's definitely been some major hurdles from the Diamond player. Okay, taking a look. Warp gate on the way for AlphaStar. There is enough Marines to shoo away this Oracle, which is good for the Diamond player. In comes the Oracle, gonna set to work on this starport. That's not gonna finish, which is unfortunate. The 3 racks play is much stronger when you got Marines to back you up. If we take a look at the worker count for the Diamond player, he's cruising at 20 SCVs. Isn't really building anymore. Doesn't have his orbital command at his natural yet, which is quite painful. And yeah, this ain't looking too hot. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's been a while since I did some casting, and yeah, I kind of forgot how much AlphaStar just kind of murders everyone that it plays against. It just does what it wants to do. This Marine's gonna run into a stasis ward. Some of his buddies are gonna get stasis. It's like, ah, god dang it, Jim, why'd you not look where you were going with your big clumsy feet? So the remaining 6 Marines are like, ah, it's good, we got this. Then there's the one guy in the rear. He's like, wait for me, guys. I don't want to miss the battle. But he probably does want to miss the battle, as a matter of fact, because there's 3 Adepts waiting for them. And that's generally not a good thing. We see Stalkers warping in for AlphaStar now. The Diamond player wants to make a timing attack happen, but I feel he should at least have some extra... Should definitely have a lot more Marines than this. Maybe have some Marauders with this. There's his reinforcing Marines coming, so maybe. There's the STIM. Okay, he's going to chase down AlphaStar's units. The Stalkers actually have a bit of a micro-derp there. AlphaStar being chased away, but... I mean, the capacity for these, 7 Marines to get recoverable damage for the Diamond player is just not there, I feel. His Marines have to turn around due to the Oracles. He's now making more Marines, making some Medivacs, but I still feel it's going to be pretty darn hard for the Diamond player to get something done. The worker count, the Diamond player's down 20 darn workers. He does at least have up his orbital command at his natural, but he's really been sleeping on the SCV production. That's not something you want to do this early in a game of StarCraft 2. So yeah, definitely some hiccups in this guy's build. I do like the choice of build from the Diamond player, but you generally do need to make sure that your build doesn't get interrupted this much. And that's just something that comes with playing a lot of games of StarCraft 2. You just gotta think, alright, keep building those workers, make sure you don't get supply blocked. Right now we see the Phoenix and Oracles being a bunch of jerks. Medivacs. Got to be careful not to run into those Phoenix. We see AlphaStar is getting up a Robo Bay. Gonna unlock the Colossus, which is going to be very, very painful for a Diamond Terran who's just making Marines that aren't even at Combat Shield yet. Should be at Combat Shield by the time, though, that's done, at least. The Diamond player throws up another turret. I mean, I like the idea, but he needs a better economy for doing things like this. We got to see more SCVs building. AlphaStar just go shooting up in that worker count, and I don't know how to tell you guys, but I'm not feeling it for the Diamond player. Sometimes I can hype these up and say he's got a chance, but if we take a look at the supply right now, it's 100 to 54. The Diamond player is supply blocked once again. He'll get there though. I just got a feeling that it's gonna be a massacre. Unless the Diamond player gets off like the most clutch drop in the world, I think it's gonna be very, very tough for him to win this game. Oracle reveals on those Marines. The AlphaStar knows where they are. There is already one Colossus out. Third base fully saturated for the Diamond player, for AlphaStar, whereas the Diamond player's main base is not properly saturated. Okay, we take a look. Marine's gonna grab the Oracle, so a bit of a mistake from AlphaStar. Getting that's nice for the Diamond player. However, at this point, it's still not looking too good. AlphaStar is sitting at a very, very high supply count. I mean, the Diamond player's at least got his upgrades going, so in theory, could have an upgrade lead against AlphaStar at some point. Right now he does have +1, but AlphaStar's own +1 is about to finish up, but he's already got that 2-1 going. So that's something that he's done well. Just, he's still only at 31 workers. He's getting supply blocked constantly, and he's just gotta keep macroing up. He's getting shredded by those Colossus beams. AlphaStar is throwing up a 4th base. We see a couple of photon cannons coming out, and all I can say at this point, ladies and gentlemen, is just like and subscribe for some more AlphaStar. We're casting every single AlphaStar game on this channel, and that includes the good, the bad, and the ugly. Right now, we see a Disruptor on the way. Gravitic Drive on the way for AlphaStar. May as well get that Warp Prism Speed. 2-1 upgrades on the way. I mean, there's a Ghost on the way for the Diamond player. So I like the idea of getting up a Ghost, because, I mean, you do have to fear the Psystorm if you're a Diamond Terran player. That was my nemesis when I was in Diamond League. It still is my nemesis, I'd say. But, yeah. This just still isn't looking too good. He's built a tank. If he builds a bunch more tanks, maybe. Just play like Alpha Terran and just make just an unholy amount of siege tanks, and I bet AlphaStar wouldn't know how to deal with that. Third base is on the way for the Diamond player. A couple of bunkers on the way. I actually don't mind that. He's getting up a missile turret, so he's playing it safe. If the Diamond player just sits back now and builds up 200 siege tanks with bunkers and just turtles hard, I'd like to see it, because AlphaStar has a hard time against the late game. However, that is not really what we're seeing. There is indeed a fleet beacon on the way for AlphaStar. I'd like to see an AlphaStar mothership, because why not? Vikings are on the way for the Diamond player. I mean, he's starting to pick up speed a little bit. He's doing his thing, getting up an extra barracks, bringing him up to the nice round number of 5. Got that bunker up. He's building his 3rd base. The concern right now, though, is AlphaStar is going to be moving across the map. And this is potentially going to be very, very ugly. AlphaStar coming on in, Disruptors, Colossus, Phoenix. These bunkers are going to have a hard time holding, I feel. I mean, there's a decent Viking count now, which will help deal with the Colossus. But the problem is that this is just simply so much Protoss. So much Protoss. The third base is going to be attempted to be secured by the Diamond player, but in comes AlphaStar with other plans. One of the bunkers just immediately falls. The turret and tank are going to try and zone this army out, and that does seem to be making AlphaStar hold off for a second. However, I get the feeling that the AI is switched to kill. Someone switched AlphaStar to kill mode, and that's what the AI is going to do. A lot of zealots, a lot of stalkers going to be charging forward. The Diamond player, he's got his bunker and his tank, he's got his bio, he's going to stim, try and run away. The Vikings shoot away at the Colossus, so that'll actually be okay. But, oh, a big disruptor hit, killing off a lot of those units. And so the Colossus are gone, but there's simply too much on the ground for AlphaStar. And this is what was a long time coming in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, consider becoming a member to get the various perks that there is. And then, yeah, thanks so much for watching. This has been LaughNgamez.